guys, welcome back to Maddie's Makeup Counter, and today we're going to be doing something different and something really personal to me, just because people have wanted me to talk about it and talk about my experience and how things went. So, if you want to hear about my story, about how I've gotten to be the person that I am today, then keep watching. And if you don't like me, if you don't like this video, then please don't watch it. You know the drill with that. Yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so basically, it kind of all started out when I was little. My dad was in a really bad situation. He was into drugs, and he just was not where he should have been. And my mother and my dad, they never got married. They were going to get married. They were engaged, but my mom called it off, and my mom and I left. And this was probably one of the biggest things for me, because not really having a dad for like the first few years of my life was really hard. Now I have my stepdad, and he's like amazing, and he's my dad. I love him so much. But that was hard for me especially, and just some things leading up to why I got in such a deep depression. When I was about 5 years old, my stepmom's brother, younger brother, he was like 15, 16, he raped me. He said it was just something that all families did together, and you know, I was a new family because my stepmom and my dad, they just got married. I was just kind of getting integrated, which this whole switch was like all happening at one time, and it was very, very hard to deal with. And so about a few months to a year later, my stepmom, she's had some issues, and she abused me. It was once, but it was hard because the night before I wanted to talk to her because I missed my grandpa who just passed away, and I kept saying like, I want her, I want her, I want her, and she wouldn't come to me. And so my dad got like furious, and he was like yelling, and he was like, why, like she's like extending an olive branch. So the next morning, locked the door, and there went my self-esteem and my love for people and my trust. So everything was kind of okay. And then middle school was the worst, the absolute worst. Anybody who's going through middle school, I'm so sorry, because I know it's so hard. And you know, you're getting in from elementary school, kind of going from a baby to a young adult, and I didn't have any like older girl siblings. It was me, and my mom wasn't really that into fashion, so I didn't really know what to wear, what to do. And you know, one of the biggest things that were like so cool back then was Delia's. I think it's out of business now, but like the like lace shirts and like all this really like lacy stuff, and like crop tops and high-waisted shorts, and and my mom didn't think it was appropriate. And to be honest, I don't really think it's appropriate now, like as looking back on it, but that's what people wear. And I was sick of going into 6th grade every single day wearing Justice, because you know, hold up, I got aged my eye. If you know what Justice is, it's like the if you know what Justice is, it's literally the babiest of stores ever. It's like full of glitter, and it's gotten a lot better since time has gone on, but back then it was like all neon, all glitter, all sequins. It was like crazy. And so my self-esteem got really bad, and I didn't really have a very close group of friends. I've never really had a close group of friends to be like that have stuck with me through everything, besides people that I know from church. But I went into middle school by myself. I went throughout the day by myself. And 7th grade, and I became friends with this group of girls who, they're all really, really nice girls now, but way back then they were very hurtful, and they would just constantly like call me ugly and tell me that like I was gross and blah 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 and all this stuff, and it just really like eventually it really hurt. And 8th grade, it got even more worse because people were dating, and a bunch of stuff was going on and people were cheating on each other and blah blah blah. And so that's when I started self-harm. And this video does not promote self-harm at all. This is like disclaimer right here, not to get graphic. So yeah, I started self-harm. I usually just cut myself, and it was bad. It was bad. I still have scars like on my wrist right here, and I have scars on my thighs, and they're really bad on my thighs, but most of them are right here. And you can still see them if you look closely, or like you look at them at a certain angle, but I use like scar cream to make it like go away. So and then I met this guy, and he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And we started dating at the end of 8th grade, but things were just not working out for me. Or I guess for us, I was stupid and I didn't know what I was doing, so I thought that like, oh my gosh, like I loved him so much. And this was like into like a month that we started dating, and like I felt that later on, like I most definitely felt it, but like early on it was like, really? So we dated basically on and off throughout the summer before my freshman year, and then first day of freshman year we hadn't talked, I hadn't seen him, but that was my goal. Is I went through new school, knew everybody, and I just wanted to see him because I knew he was going to be there. So I like looked around for him. At the end of the day, I finally found him, and I just remember me completely like running up and hugging him and like feeling this like overcomingness of like safety and love, and I hadn't felt that in a really long time. So we dated basically throughout freshman year. It was pretty rocky because we were both going through some mental issues with like self-esteem and stuff like that. And I mean, everything was great. We went to homecoming. That was amazing. He looked amazing. I looked amazing. And it was just so much fun. And things kind of went downhill after that. October 14th, I attempted suicide. And this was because just things in the relationship weren't going as I wanted them to, and they weren't working as I wanted them to. So that was really hard because that was like, he was my rock, he was my best friend, he was my boyfriend, he was my brother, he was my dad, he was every single figure in my life that I needed to be. I did not listen to anyone else. If he had an opinion over someone else's, I'd listen to it because I thought that, bro, this man knows it all. So I tried to kill myself. I swallowed a bunch of pills, and I woke up in the middle of the night throwing up my guts everywhere. Like, I could not stop throwing up, and I was throwing up for a solid like 13 hours straight. And then the next morning I told my mom what I did, and there I was on my way to Children's, and no one knew what was happening. My boyfriend didn't know what was happening. The only thing that he knew is I said goodbye and I love you. He thought that I was going to bed. He did not know the extent of what was going on. And for like a little bit over a week, I was in the hospital in the youth crisis unit in Columbus, and that was the worst week of my life. The food was good. Children's Hospital food, 10 out of 10. I could not have any visitors besides my family, just my immediate family, so my grandmas, my grandpas, and my mom, my dad. My little sister couldn't even come and see me. I had no contact with anyone. My phone was gone. I couldn't even sleep in my own pajamas. It was that bad. I finally got them to be able to give me my blanket that my best friend at the time gave me, and it smelled exactly like her, so it like made me feel happy. And then I got a teddy bear that my boyfriend gave me that smelled exactly like him, and I was just, that kept me okay. And I'd wake up in the morning with those two things in my face crying because I was alone and no one knew what was happening, and I dealt with this by myself. I never did that before. I was dealing with this by myself. But I got out of the hospital, and things went good for a little bit, but I mean, I just continued to self-harm until about January, and that's kind of like the end of it. I got on new medication. I started like getting my grades together. I started getting my life together, and I was like, I'm not going to be sad anymore. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna be amazing. I'm gonna slay every single day. And yeah, I still got upset and I still got depressed, like, every once in a while. But, like, I was like, let's do this, bro. Like, come at me. Fight me, life. And go, like, you are not going to hurt me anymore. So, that's basically the end of my story. And just know that if you ever get in a situation where you feel depressed or you feel that you need to self-harm, walk out of your room, walk out of whatever you're about to hurt yourself with, take a deep breath, hold an ice cube in your hand, because it hurts, but it's not going to hurt you. You still get pain, but it's not going to hurt you. Talk to someone. Talk to your best friend. Talk to your mom. Talk to your teacher. Talk to someone. Because if you don't, it'll bottle all up inside, and one day you will explode. It will happen. Everywhere. That's what I did. And if you're struggling with depression because of self-confidence issues, it's okay. My forehead is the size of Mount Rushmore. It is bigger than most kids' GPAs. I understand how it's going, okay? My body is disproportionate. It's okay. Everything is okay. You are beautiful, okay? You are amazing. You are beautiful. You are gorgeous. Do not let anyone else tell you different. Because if they do, bro, you call Maddie's makeup counter about to swing on them people. Yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, guys.